Welcome, folks. This is Book Talk with Corbin, and I'm your host. This is an open letter to white America. This is an open letter to white Americans. No one, regardless of their race, is entitled to your money, wealth, or property. If in the final analysis you legally earned that money, wealth, or property, it belongs to you. It's your decision as to what you want to do with it. Now, if some of you white folks want to give your money, wealth, or property over to a black person, regardless of the reason, of your own free will, have at it. If some of you white folks want to give your money, wealth, or property to a black person, regardless of the reason, and you're doing so of your own free will, good luck. Let me make this real clear. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the reparations movement. It's clearly talking about the reparations movement. As you know, at this present time, again, the House of Representatives is doing some study on reparations. And this is really nothing new. Studies, organizations, movements have been discussing this since 1863. Now, if some white folks choose not to give their money, wealth, or property over to someone who is black for whatever the reason, that is their choice. That is their choice. It does not make them a bad person in any way. That is their choice. It's their money, their choice. Again, we're talking about reparations for slavery, right? That's what we're talking about. Good. As a black man who has been involved in the reparations movement years ago, I'm going to give you my very simple, clear, and concise position on reparations. Number one, the United States government never should pay reparations. If for no other reason than the fact, it would be absurd. You are talking about taking money from people who never owned slaves to give money to people who never lived as a slave. Let me repeat that. You're talking about taking money from people. You're taking it from them. You're taking it from them. And you're saying, hey, we're going to give this money to these people over here. Well, why are you doing that? Well, we just think it's the right thing to do. We just think it's the just thing to do. We understand that you, white folks living today, never owned slaves. And we also understand the black folk who are living today never lived as a slave. But we're still going to do it. That's just one reason why I'm opposed to the government doing reparations. Two, if you are a white man or woman who believes America owes black folk reparations for slavery, fine. Good. God bless you. Cut a check. Let me repeat that. You might not have gotten it the first time. Are you a white man or woman who believes America owes black folk reparations for slavery? Fine. God bless you. Cut a check. Or donate some stocks. Maybe give up some property, like your house, your vehicle, your boat. I don't know, maybe like 1,000 shares in a hedge fund. Or maybe like 200 shares of Kroger. Or 50 shares of Altria. Or maybe, like some shares out of a Vanguard fund. The point is this. Pay the reparations. You pay the reparations. There's no reason for you to wait for the government, local, state, or federal, to do what you should be doing immediately and voluntarily. Why are you waiting for the government? You don't have to wait for the government. You do it. You think it's right? You think it's the right thing to do? Then you do it. You cut the check. You do it right now. You don't need the government involved. If I hear someone crying for help, and it was my voluntary decision to help, I would do so. Someone's crying for help, I say to myself, you know what? I should help them. I go help them. I don't need to seek the government's position, permission, program, force, or anything like that. I don't need to wait for the government's permission, bottom line, to go do what I think is the just and right thing to do. I just go do it. The same goes for reparations. If you believe black folk are due reparations for slavery, you go ahead and cut that check. You go ahead and get it done right now. Don't need to wait for the government. Go ahead and you do that. 3, don't you dare give reparations you think you owe me as a black man to any poverty pimp program or any United States government-controlled program. I don't want you giving my money, what you think you owe me, to the Nation of Islam, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. I don't want you giving it to the National Urban League. I don't want you giving it to the Communist Party USA. I don't want you giving it to the Socialist Workers Party. I don't want you giving it to any black fraternity, black sorority. I don't want you giving it to the food stamp office, HUD, Section 8. You cut me my check and you hand it directly to me. You give it to me. Whatever you think you owe me, you pay me. You make a direct payment. Now, my PayPal account is going to be visible on this posting. Go ahead, make your payment. I'll accept it. And here's 3 things you can, well, at least 2 things you can expect from me. Number 1, I'm going to thank you. Make sure you leave your email address or physical address. I'm going to thank you. I was raised the right way. When I receive a gift, I was told, hey, you show gratitude and say, hey, thank you for that gift. I appreciate it, man. Because you didn't have to do it. I appreciate that. 2, if you give me $50 or more, I will send to you a forgiveness certificate. Let me repeat that. I will send to you a forgiveness certificate. And that certificate is going to clear you, your nuclear family, and your family's generations going in your family's prior 3 generations on both sides. So let's say you're married. Well, that's going to cover you on your side of the family going back 3 generations, and it's going to cover your wife side of the family going back 3 generations. It's going to cover you and your wife if you have children, your children too, and of course it's going to cover you as an individual. $50 or more. I'm going to send you a forgiveness certificate. And once you make that donation, you're going to receive that certificate, and then you will understand in writing you are now forgiven of all alleged, imagined, or real social justice ever committed against black people in the United States of America. That's it. Folks, this is Book Talk with Corbin. I'm your host.